Hello and welcome to the show that brings you the best mix of adrenaline and alternative sports. Coming up this week, we take you to the streets of Austria for some top-class athletics from the Golden Fly series. We're in Italy as Napoli hosts the Summer Universiade, and this week we look at the Taekwondo Punse event. We'll report from Stop 5 of the Cliff Diving World Series from Beirut, but first it's news and features from around the world.
More than 5,000 individual athletes from over 80 nations once again made it to the Datev Challenge Roth, the world's largest long-distance triathlon. The swim in 24.5 degree water temperature. 3.8 kilometers in the Main-Donau Canal, which means swimming without a wetsuit for the professionals. 6:30 a.m., the start signal for the men's field, in which Sweden's Jesper Svensson leads the pack right from the start. 3 minutes later, the women also start their swim. As expected, Lucy Charles, the top favorite, sets the pace right from the beginning. Svensson is also the first to reach the swim exit after 48 minutes. He now has to tackle the 180-kilometer-long bike course. The bike course is predestined for fast bike times, with an average speed of almost 45 kilometers per hour for the professionals. The atmospheric highlight, Solarer Hill in Hilpostein. And this is exactly where the lead group with the German professionals Andreas Dreitz and Andy Böcherer builds. Thanks to the numerous fans, there is a real Tour de France feeling. And the German duo uses their home advantage, Dreitz and Böcherer subsequently pushing themselves to the front of the field. After just over 5 hours, both reach the transition together. Lucy Charles continues to dictate the women's race, her lead ahead of last year's winner Daniela Bleimehl over 5 minutes. The running course in Roth, the final marathon over 42.195 kilometers with long passages along the canal. And here he is. Dreitz sets the decisive attack in the German battle. The local hero has a perfect race, and his competition hasn't got a chance. Andreas Dreitz, after 7 hours, 59 minutes, and 2 seconds, the celebrated winner. It's indescribable to run first to the finish. Last year it was already gigantic, coming in second here, but today's victory topped everything again. A demonstration of strength is also shown by Lucy Charles, the British woman with a start-to-finish victory.
To come second last year by just 9 seconds, I had so much fire in my belly today to come back and get the win, and from the gun, that's all I wanted to do. I went hard and I just hung on, and yeah, just over the moon to get the win here.
Dreitz and Roth, the king and queen of the Datev Challenge Roth 2019.
Bad Gastein, Austria is the home of the Adidas Infinite Trails World Championships. Within 20 hours, the teams of pros and amateurs had to master 127 kilometers and 7,800 meters of altitude difference around Bad Hofgastein. The mixture of a great atmosphere, boiling emotions in the Alpine arena, and impressive natural scenery make this a unique event. The event welcomed some of trail running's top stars, such as 3-time world champion Luis Alberto Hernandez from Spain, 2-time Western States Endurance Run winner Timothy Olsen from the USA, and the 2017 Sky Running World Series winner Sheila Elviras from Spain. The event started on the Thursday with the prologue, 15 kilometers of opening run with 891 meters of altitude difference. The prologue defines the start time for the start of the main race on the Saturday morning. From the start, Anton Palzer of Adidas Terex Dudes was on his way with incredible speed and willpower despite the hot temperatures. He kept his pace and won with a time of 1 hour and 9 minutes. Second is Daniel Sanz, and third, last year's prologue winner Martin Dametis from Italy. The Spaniard Sheila Elviras finishes first in the women's category. The following morning at 4 a.m, the athlete starts the first loop. In the Alpine arena at about 800 meters, the athletes quickly climb 900 meters altitude towards Rostov-Zelnam. The sun welcomes the runners on their way up, and at the highest point in this loop, the Gamskar Skirgel, Paltzer leads ahead of Mitiev in the men's and the Spaniard Arvilas in the women's category. Shortly after, Mitiev regains the lead from Paltzer. Sheila Arvilas was the fastest woman on the mountain, just ahead of Abigail Hall. In Loop 2, the athletes passed the beautiful Bad Gasteiner waterfall to Graukogel. With more than 60 kilometres and a total of 3,780 metres of altitude difference, this loop is the longest and most exhausting of the three. Who masters the brutal change of gradient and incline, and who can cope with the midday heat? Abigail Hall shows her outstanding abilities and maintains the lead, while Louis Hernanda, after 6 hours and 28 minutes, is back in the arena. So both teams at the top can maintain their lead. Loop 3 offers a distance of just over 40 kilometres and provides all the challenges that can be mastered in this sport. Especially on the Sibachata, there's steep ascent before all three runners can start the finish loop together. In the men's category, Timothy Olsen with Dmitry Mitiev and Louis Hernando lead the way to the finish and confirm the Team Terex 4 are the new Adidas Infinite Trails World Champions. While in the women's category, Team Terex 8 with Ingvild Kaspersen, Ekaterina Mitieva and Yasmin Nunega won ahead of Team Terex 1. The finish area in the Alpine Arena offers spectators 21 hours of pure excitement until the cut-off time of 1 AM. The enthusiastic audience not only pays tribute to the stars of the trail running, but also celebrates all the athletes who have taken up this challenge in the Gastein Valley. Next, we take you to Beirut for Stop 5 of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. The world's oldest extreme sport meets in one of the oldest cities in the world. The Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series enters the second half of the season with its fifth stop and enjoys a new venue off the coast of Beirut. Despite being Lebanon's largest city, the divers launch from the pure cliff face off the natural landmark known as Pigeon Rocks. These limestone outcrops grow up to 40 metres above sea and are just offshore, with one of the rock formations having an archway eroded through it. The athletes will use the platform placed at 21 metres for the women, while the men jump from 27 metres. Australia's Rhiannon Ifland is still unbeaten this season and is aiming for her fifth consecutive win. For Gary Hunt, a victory from this natural landmark would mean the third win in the season's third off-the-cliff competition. However, both are under pressure from Jesse McAuliffe from Great Britain and Jonathan Paredes from Mexico, respectively, who'll try to topple the champions. Adriana Jimenez is standing on the 21-metre platform. The Mexican has had a difficult season this year. Last year's runner-up in the overall rankings is sitting in second place after round 3, performing a reverse 3 somersaults with a DD of 3.9. The great execution brings her 251.185 points in total. However, it's once again Rhiannon Ifland who shows off for the best performance of the day. The Australian girl nailed her first 2 dives very well. In the final round, she pulls out another outstanding dive, an inward 3 somersaults half twist with a DD of 3.8 and 306.15 points. Ifland and Jimenez are joined by Nestorava in third as they all celebrate on the podium after finishing a day successfully under challenging conditions. And now it's up to the men. Romania's Catalin Preda, a wildcard diver, making just his 5th appearance in the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. He enters the final round in second position. Preda pulls off a back 4 somersaults, 2 twists. 322.75 points brings Preda third place today on this brand new stop of the World Series. A great execution brings him his second podium of his career. Next up, David Kilturi from the USA, back this year after an injury. He displays a reverse 2 somersaults, 5 twists with a DD of 5.4, the highest DD in the whole competition. Starting from the 6th position, he finishes the last round with an excellent dive that takes him right up into 2nd place. Colchieri's great performance gives him his 2nd podium this season. And 7 times World Series champion Gary Hunt has once more the honour of the last dive of the day. The fantastic Brit was under pressure after the outstanding performance of Colchieri. Hunt picks back 3 somersaults, 4 twists for his last dive with a degree of difficulty of 5.2 and proves to have nerves of steel. The execution of the dive unbelievably elegant and with a smooth entry, earning him 5 tens, something no one has reached before in the World Series. This is a new record and his 4th win of the season, pushing him closer to his big goal to win the World Series for the 8th time. So the 3 guys celebrate on the podium. The penultimate stop will take the divers to the Old Bridge in Mostar, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Well, join us after the break as we head to Napoli in Italy as the 30th Summer Universiade kicks off. And this week we report from the Taekwondo Pumse event. And later we're in Austria for highlights from the Golden Fly series. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the show. We now take you to Napoli in Italy as the 30th Summer Universiade kicks off. And this week we look at the Taekwondo Pumse event.
It's finals time on day 1 in individual Pumse at Napoli 2019. The Pala Casoria is our venue, and even as the hour stretches on here in Naples, the sun is shining and it's hot in the arena. It's provided challenges of its own. So now we have Kouroush Bakhtiar from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now for the freestyle. Watch out here for the height of jumps, that's important. The number of kicks displayed in the front kick, what the gradient of the spinning hook kick is. These are all requisite parts, core elements that have to be included. and a finish made for TV. That was some class shown from Kurush Bakhtiar. 6.66, meaning a 7.31. Now it is the turn of Leonardo Juarez Rodriguez from Mexico. Dramatic choreography from the Mexican. He's gone into second, 7.12. Eddie Jiong. The Pyongwon up first. Strong element of control to his performance. Managed his breathing. Stances were synchronized with the shoulders and hand movements. 7.84. A good start for the American. So much support from his teammates ahead of his freestyle, and in this he says he wants to enjoy his performance. He wants to transmit that to the judges. So if you enjoy this performance at home, then you'll know it's a good one. Eddie Jeong certainly enjoyed that, and there was a smouldering intensity throughout. Yes, a few moments where the landing wasn't quite perfect, but a harmonic routine. As we see President Cho. He's gone into first, 7.5 for Eddie Jeong. And now, can this man topple him? Kang Wan-jin from South Korea, the top qualifier. It's the Pyeongwon up first. Well, the foot form was certainly exceptional. The range of dexterity shown as well. The flexibility was high up there. And won a team gold at the 2018 Asian Games. Kang Wan-jin. It's actually a Taekwondo major at the Kyung-hee University in Seoul. Studies the history of the discipline. Of course, the patterns, also the body movement and the mental side of the sport. Taekwondo is his pleasure, it's his study. Is it going to be a route to a gold medal here at the Universiade? The freestyle performance now will decide everything. It's been a high quality final, but have we just seen the highest quality moment of them all? 7.5, the score posted. That alone is a 7.74. So, by almost half a point, Kang Wan-jin becomes the champ, and that isn't a bad way to celebrate either. The acrobatics, superb. The focus, intense. And he has the gold medal. A Taekwondo major at Kyung-hee University. At the 30th Universiade, he has finished top of the pile.
And we'll have action from the women's event after the break, and later in the show it's over to Austria for highlights from the Golden Fly Series in Innsbruck. See you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the show. We now return to Italy for highlights from the women's Taekwondo Pumse event at the Summer Universiade.
And here are the starting lineup in the women's Pumse individual competition. It's now the turn of AJ Munoz from the USA. The first job is to take on the Tayback. There was concentration writ large across the face of AJ Munoz. There will be similar elements to what we've seen before. It's perhaps a little bit softer, she said, in a hint. But there will be powerful elements as well. Well, we are about to find out. The three-time world champion in this exact part of Taekwondo. A performance which just got better and better. The acrobatic elements, 6.75 is the current leading score. It's a 6.6 for this individual freestyle, giving her a 7.06. She's in the lead. It is Fatima Hashem from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Time for the freestyle. It started with a statement, and from there, Fatima Hashem put together a very strong performance. The acrobatics coming towards the end of the performance. judges' scorecards are in. 6.1 for the freestyle. It is now the turn of Su Ya-en from Chinese Taipei. Qualified for the final in third. That was an improvement on 8th earlier on today. Can she go better again? Confident and definite with her movements, very little adjustments. The quality, of course, of Su Qian. It's a 7.68 to begin with. Just a little bit behind in her first pattern, the score just posted by Fatemeh Hachem. The freestyle next, and as we've seen, this can change everything. It's a 6.99, so Su Ya-en is guaranteed a medal. Now we have one more competitor. It is the top qualifier, Yoon Ji-hae from South Korea. Can she back that up? Final moments to compose herself. There'll be no composing her supporters. They will be cheering throughout this performance. Well, well, well. Yoon Jie, in her freestyle Pumse performance, with great variance, good harmony. But I just wonder if that's final tumble pass she had to pull out from. It certainly felt like that. .796 in her first pattern. It is a 7.06 overall score, which AJ Munoz has. Where will this one come in? It is confirmation. That's AJ Munoz, the starlet of freestyle Pumse, has taken gold here in Naples in the women's individual Pumse competition.
Plenty more from the Summer Universiade over the coming weeks, but stay tuned. After the break, we'll head to the streets of Innsbruck for some outdoor athletics at the Golden Flies Series. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the show. We now take you to Austria for athletics in the streets of Innsbruck at the Golden Fly Series. On to the women's pole vault, and all eyes on Angelika Bengtsson from Sweden, who arrives in Innsbruck with personal bests of 4.76 metres and 4.81 metres on this year's record.
This early in the season to do another PB outdoor, to feel that yes, I am actually on a new level, and I only think that I'm going upwards from this. So it will be a very interesting competition.
The stage in Innsbruck is set, and the contest has now arrived with a bar at 4.26 metres. 18-year-old Russian Oksana Gortolina starts off the proceedings, and after struggling on her first two jumps, she's fully focused before her third and possibly final attempt. Gortolina clears 4.26 metres in her third attempt, and the 18-year-old stays in the competition under the watchful eye of her dad, pole vault legend Radian Gatolin. Next up, Angelika Bengtsson from Sweden, and the 26-year-old starts the competition with the bar raised to 4.46 metres. She knows that the key to success is to get the perfect grip on the pole and a well-timed approach run. Running down the fly swap, Bengtsson launches herself at full speed but fails on her first attempt at 4.46. And the replay showing that timing just not precise enough yet. With the only other female pole vaulter, Agnes Hoodie, not succeeding in any of her 3 attempts at 4.06, the battle for the victory is now between Bengtsson and Gotelina. So with the bar at 4.46, Gotelina once again leaves it to her last attempt. She knows each jump is a puzzle of different elements and everything has to fall into place. But this time she hasn't got enough and fails her final attempt of 4.46 metres.
I really wanted to jump high, but I didn't know how to do this.
So can Bengtsson deal with the pressure and clear her starting height of 4.46 in her final attempt to secure her first Golden Roof Challenge victory? A powerful approach, and Bengtsson shows she has nerves of steel, clearing the bar with some room to spare and winning the 2019 Golden Roof Challenge. But the Swede is far from done. She raises the bar by 15 centimetres to 4.61, which would be a new competition record. Cheered on by the crowd, she flies down the fly swan, sails over the bar, setting a new competition record and cementing her status as one of the world's best vaulters. The bar raised to 4.66, close to her personal best of 4.81. Bengtsson has to pull out all the stops on her final attempt, but hasn't got quite enough on the day. Still a great victory for the Swede. And so Angelika Bengtsson wins with a new competition record ahead of Gotelina.
I'm very happy. That was the first goal of the day, to win, and the second goal was to take a competition record. And just being here in this atmosphere and seeing Austria was so worth the effort to come here.
Well, I'm looking for a good result. I feel pretty good compared to the previous competition. We have better weather and better conditions, so I expect a good result. Maybe not a record, but I'll definitely put on a great spectacle. I'll give it my best. But Echeverria faces tough competition, mainly from last year's second-placed athlete Zark Visser from South Africa, who's also had a good start to the 2019 season.
I think this is one of my best years ever. I started this year off with a seasonal best, which is my PB with an 8:41, which is crazy. I've never started a season like that. I'm just focusing on the technical aspect of the competition, because once you get that right, the distance will come.
Zark Visser, full of confidence, and his first jump will be a key for a successful competition. His big strength and explosive start, and Visser throws himself into the jump. A solid showing with 7.77 metres in his first attempt, but will he be able to pass the 8 metre mark today? Reigning British indoor champion Farron Sayers gets ready for his second attempt, and the 25-year-old from Birmingham knows he has to be at his best to get into the podium positions. Sayers goes full throttle and jumps a good 7.81 metres to take the lead. Zark Visser had a good first jump, but he needs to improve to get back into the lead. The former African champion looks focused and cheered on by his Innsbruck fans, launches himself into another big jump. 7.86 meters, and he's back in first place. Next up, Vladislav Mazur from the Ukraine. On paper, the former under-23 European champion is the lowest ranked athlete here in Innsbruck, but the 23-year-old is a fighter and will always give his best. That's a decent jump, and with 7.69 meters, Mazur moves into third place. Now Ferran Sayers with his third attempt. The Brit eager to improve on his previous jumps, and you can tell he's extremely focused. It's not a big leap, but is it enough? It is, and with 7.92 meters, he moves back into first. After missing the takeoff board by a long distance in his first three jumps, all eyes now on Juan Miguel Echeverria. The Cuban really has to deliver as he only sits in third place at the moment. He can't be happy with that performance. Echeverria once again pelts down the runway, throws himself into a massive jump. This time it's closer to the board, and with 8.15 meters, he moves into the lead. Well, no one else comes close to Echeverria in the final round, so the Cuban knows that he has won the event, but can he break the world record for mobile athletics setups, which stands at 8.21 meters? With 8 meters, it's not enough, and although Echeverria doesn't break the record, he secures his first win at the Golden Roof Challenge. Well, despite some problems with his takeoff, Echeverria wins ahead of Ferran Sayers and Zark Visser. I'm not satisfied with the result. I felt good and I know I could have done better, but I had some difficulties. I like this place a lot, and it's the first time that I've competed in a place like this. The public being so close gave me a lot of support.
It was a great day in front of a great crowd. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to jump the 8 meters that I wanted and stuff, but overall it was a good competition and stuff, and I'm happy to come second.